Hey everybody, this is Rev J with Rev J Rides. I am recording this video on Iron Mountain Road, which is an excellent road. Now, I didn't get all the best parts though, so if you've been on Iron Mountain Road, the best parts are not going to be on this video. This is a good spirited little ride of twisties. I think there might be a switchback or two on here, but we really get into the switchbacks and the pigtails and all that stuff in part 2. So I hope you'll watch part 2 as well. But I wanted to put this on because I had some things on my mind while I was riding this. I've got a friend of mine behind me. You'll see him in a minute, I believe. His name is Billy Ray. He's an older fella. He's probably about, I don't know, maybe 16 years older than me, and I'm old enough myself, but he rides everywhere I ride, and he does a great job of it. And at the same time, he also gives of himself to share the gospel of Jesus Christ with people who are in need, and that's an awesome thing. Today, I was able to share with a young man who came under the tent, and spoke to me. This young man, I'm not going to name any names, nothing like that. He seemed to be a really good guy, but he had a heavy heart, and I could tell that. I'm not sure exactly how I could tell that, but as I was talking with him, I revealed to him, shared with him, that I had just lost somebody. Hey, you see Billy Ray back there? You can barely make him out in this shot, but he's over my shoulder there. He's doing a great job. This is a pretty twisty road. You can see by the angle that I'm turning, you know, the angle of the ground on the video. It's turning pretty good. But anyways, so this young man had a heavy heart, and I shared with him that I had just lost somebody. Somebody passed away in my family that I care very much for, and was hurting. Our family was hurting. And he revealed to me that he had lost somebody too. So we had this really awesome conversation. I'm not going to get into every detail. I did give him my card so that he could look me up on YouTube, and if he ever does, I would appreciate that. That's really cool. If he knows who he is, you know that I'm talking about him. Don't say a word if you don't want anybody to know who you are. For right now, you're just an anonymous young man. He was somewhat close to the age of my son, maybe just slightly older. And he was struggling with a really hard loss in his life recently. My son went through a hard loss where he lost his very best friend when he was a high school senior. His friend died in a car accident, and so that was relatable. And then there was also the fact that my daughter lost one of her best friends too, in an automobile accident of all things. And that young lady was a senior in high school as well, just like my son's best friend was. Now my daughter, she was not a senior in high school at that point. She had already started college, but it was a real close friend. Those kinds of losses really make you stop and think. And what this young man was pondering was kind of like the meaning of life, if you will. And I shared with him where I was at one time in my life, where life just didn't seem to make sense to me. I was kind of in a dark place. And the Lord spoke to me, not in my ears, but in my heart, and revealed to me the things that I was trying to build my life on weren't worth building my life on. That I was empty inside because the things I was striving for really didn't satisfy. So I eventually trusted in Jesus and turned my life over to him, and when I did, my life began to have purpose like never before. I saw this young man as he was listening to me. Now, there was a lot of other things said. He said other things. I said other things. It was a fairly decent conversation, but at the end, what was cool about it was he was so grateful to have heard about Jesus and what a difference he could make. He was tearing up and, trying to be a man and not let me see, you know what I mean, but at the same time, his heart was kind of both broken and glad at the same time to be hearing this good news. Well, he prayed and trusted in Jesus Christ as his Lord and Savior. He repented of trying to live on his own and do his own thing, his own way, and just asked that Jesus would come into his life and be the boss of his life. And that's what happened. He was so grateful. I mean, he shook my hand like 4 or 5 times and, took my card and stuff. And I surely hope I get to hear from him again, because I'm going to be praying for him. He's a good guy. Just kind of had that on my mind as I was riding. This was a really great ride. Even this part, which is not the best part, as I mentioned, but this part's still fun. Billy Ray sure kept up with me. I wasn't trying to race or anything, but it was a spirited ride, if you know what I mean. Had a good time when there weren't cars in front of me. I did have one, I don't know if you'd call it a close call, but how many of you out there have hit a tar snake while you're in a real sharp curve? When your front wheel slides about 2 inches, when you're really trying to, turn sharp and it's supposed to be planted, that'll make you tighten up, if you know what I mean. That was kind of crazy. But it was still fun. Just try to avoid the tar snakes, huh? Somebody let me know down there in the comments if you've ever experienced anything like that with the tar snake. Some of you may not even know what a tar snake is. If you don't, just ask me down in the comments, okay? Hey, sure hope some of y'all, if you're watching this and you haven't hit subscribe, it would be a great thing if you'd go ahead and hit subscribe. We're getting awful close to hitting a good goal. Our channel is growing. Help us out. Have a blessed one. Bye-bye.